Hi everyone, this is Radhika here again. I hope you all are doing well. This video is going to be about how to deal with an emotionally unavailable or an avoidant husband or a boyfriend. If you have a husband or a boyfriend who has been raised by a narcissistic clan and possibly he doesn't know about it, maybe you know about narcissism but he doesn't, um, or he could have been in relationship like previous relationships with covert or overt narcissistic girlfriends or wives. uh, then it's possible that you will find such a man to be either emotionally unavailable or emotionally avoidant or both. Uh, that's a double whammy. And a lot of men are like this, and I'm sure a lot of people will resonate with this, especially women or even a man if you are in relationship with another man. So let's just go over the terms a little bit. So what does emotionally unavailable mean? So it means that when there are strong emotions that you express, it could be sadness, um, anger, grief, trauma, etc. Like whatever, it's a strong emotion which is a bit uncomfortable to deal with. Such men, they will kind of run away from it, so they might say a few things here and there if they're really trying to support you, but you will feel at a core level, you will feel that this person is not really with me in this, like you will have that feeling of being alone with that emotion. And it'll be a feeling of not being supported mostly in your emotional distress, whatever you're going through. So they might actually even try to be emotionally unavailable sometimes, sorry, emotionally available sometimes. They will try to understand what you're going through and they might actually make an effort, but they still won't be able to get what you're going through. Um, so that's the first one. And the second one, emotionally avoidant, this is a little bit trickier because when men are like this, they gaslight you without understanding that they are gaslighting you. So they might actually, when you are in an emotional distress or you have strong emotions, they might make you feel some sort of a shame for what you are feeling. And they might either play it down, like, oh, it's nothing, why are you reacting so much, or they might completely disassociate with the whole thing like it didn't happen ever, or they might just call you irrational or over sentimental or oversensitive, etc. So most of these men, I'm not talking about narcissistic men here. So if a narcissistic man is doing it is gaslighting. But I'm talking about like men who are balanced, who are grounded, but still having these tendencies of being emotionally unavailable and emotionally avoidant. And that's a lot of men actually. Most men, mostly I think, are like this. So they don't gaslight knowingly, they just do it unknowingly. And the reason they are emotionally avoidant is basically because they don't want to deep dive into very uncomfortable situation for them, because they find dealing with emotions very very uncomfortable. And they are also scared of getting blamed for the emotion that you are going through. And that's because they have been in covert narcissistic situations before, so their view of the feminine is very skewed. They have seen feminine energies only from a shadow perspective, where a covert narcissistic woman is blaming them or shaming them, or putting all the the reason for her victimhood is this particular person, so they have a deep sense of shame and guilt. And when uh, a normal woman tries to express some emotions which are normal, they will kind of put that blame on her, that you are oversensitive. And because they can't go to the covert person in their life and say that, because then they know it'll be a big drama. So what they do is they actually lash out on the grounded person in their life, whoever is a female or in their feminine energy. And whenever they express feminine energy, whenever they express emotion, they kind of blame that energy, that I don't want you in my life. So they are kind of they are again avoidant, but what they are avoidant of is the traumas inside themselves, which they need to solve. So all of this situation kind of, they know subconsciously that whenever such a situation arises, it takes them back to that situation in their life which made them feel really uncomfortable. And so what they do is they lash out and then they are like, what you're feeling is totally irrational, and you overreacted, and you didn't have to make it such a big deal. And so things like this will be said to you, and you will feel like, I'm just communicating how I'm feeling and why are you overreacting so much? And you say I am overreacting. So it becomes like a continuous back and forth bickering sort of a situation. And you as a female, or you as a person in your feminine energy, will intuitively know that this person is just running away from their feelings. So but that's what they do, they just keep running away from the trauma, away from the wounds that they need to attend. And what they do is they keep blaming all this good feminine energy in their surrounding, and calling it a bad name, giving it a bad rep. So these men, they are very they want to stay away from emotion as much as possible. They hate emotion. They want everything to be like status quo. Everything should always function smoothly. They don't like too many ups and downs in emotions. They want everything in a neutral palette, because that's what feels comfortable to them. When they are in that neutral zone, they are not pushed to address their traumas. So that's why a lot of men who have dealt with covert narcissistic women, or clans, or overt narcissistic women, they kind of try to stay in this neutral zone. And these are not bad men, but these are just men who are not dealing with their traumas. So I'm not saying these are narcissistic men, these are just men who are emotionally unavailable and emotionally avoidant. And yeah, what happens is they have become emotionally unavailable because maybe since childhood they have seen feminine energy always in the shadow form of manipulation, causing shame, being in a victim mode, being like a princess, bratish, etc. So they might have they might have always experienced femininity in that way. They did not experience the care and the nurturing that a feminine energy can offer. Or even if they did a little bit, they were always confused because they also witnessed this crazy form of femininity. So they didn't know what's true and what's not. How is this person? They always have a bipolar view of the feminine. Um, so, and also they could have had like a covert narcissistic mother, and the father would have maybe become completely emotionally avoidant of the mother. He emotionally detached himself from the situation, from the drama that she was creating. So what they have learned from their dad is to be that way in a marriage. And that's how a lot of men operate. Like if you're married to a man, you should see how his dad is treating his mom, because that's probably how he is going to treat you in the future. Even if not now, in the beginning of the marriage he might be a bit different, but as the marriage progresses, he's probably going to treat you the same way that his dad treats his mom. So, and that does not, it doesn't matter if you are different than his mom, because that is what he has learned. That is what a marriage is in his mind, for him. And you probably might start behaving a lot like your mom, or like, it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. If you're more in your feminine energy, you will start behaving more like, the female in your family. And that doesn't always apply, but sometimes it applies. um, so yeah, so that's why they are emotionally unavailable, because they saw their fathers becoming emotionally unavailable during their childhood. So they just think this is normal, this is how a marriage is. The man is always kind of away, kind of detached, and the woman is dealing with everything. She's emotional and she's kind of crazy and all of that stuff. And why avoidant? So they are avoidant because they basically don't want to open this can of worms, which is their childhood trauma and all of that stuff. So they are like, everything is okay, don't worry, everything is okay. So they just don't want to face their demons, and so they just kind of, they just stay in denial for a long time. So yeah, what can you do when you have such a husband or a boyfriend? So if you have a boyfriend like this, first of all, you can kind of suss out the situation if you still want to spend your life with this person. If you have a husband, then of course, like, you are in a kind of a um, long term commitment already, and these issues usually show up later in a marriage. So what can you do, in the case that you don't want to separate from such a person? So yeah, give them space first, and give them time to heal. uh, kind of emotionally detach from them. So if you are expecting to have a supportive person, maybe they are supporting you, but not to the degree that you want to be supported. So kind of give up on that expectation a little bit, and just realize that this is another human being, and they have a lot of stuff that they haven't dealt with. So even if they want to, they cannot help you right now. So it's like, if both the people are sinking and none of them know swimming, you can't really help each other. Even if you cross each other's path, or even if you catch each other, you both are going to sink. So what you do is, you wait for someone who knows how to swim. And I'm not saying have an affair with another guy. What I'm saying is, find someone who can help you, like a therapist or a coach or a friend. It doesn't matter who that person is, and it doesn't have to be a male energy person, it can be a female energy person as well. So don't ask for support from this one source, which is your emotionally unavailable husband or boyfriend, because they are not able to give that to you. So just accept that fact, that they cannot give me what I'm asking for. And that's okay, because no human being is perfect, so they have their own things to deal with. So yeah, emotionally detach from them a little bit, and stop having, like, try not to have this expectation that they will help you, because every time you have that expectation and it is broken, you will kind of lose a little bit of respect for them. And that's not a good thing to happen in a relationship. When you lose respect for the man, it's not a good thing. So just try to understand that, they are going through their own stuff, so don't lose respect for them, because even if you might not feel it, they might be actually trying their hardest to help you. And it might not feel that way, but maybe later on you will feel that, yeah, I mean, that guy was trying, so so yeah, just give them some space, emotionally detach from them. And if you can, just pray that, give them the wisdom to kind of solve their own baggage, so that they can meet you at a level where they can help you. And that only comes once they have actually solved their own issues. It can't come before that, they can't help you before that. So yeah, pray for them, and that's what I did. And sometimes, prayers really work. So just have trust in your prayers and help yourself. Then the next thing is, of course, like self love. So create your own little world. Have your friends in it, like your kid in it if you have a kid. Um, and kind of don't close it off for the husband or the boyfriend, but at the same time don't keep inviting them all the time, like keep the door open, but keep it like if you want to come in, you're welcome, that kind of a thing. So make your own world, and follow your own passions, start living your own life. Don't kind of become this codependent person who's forcing this person to heal, because you can't force anyone to heal. They will heal when it's their time to heal, and when they feel they are ready to heal. So you can pray for that, but you can't kind of push them towards it. um, and yeah, so be your own best friend, etc. Follow your passions. The whole self-love thing. So yeah, do that. And if you are in a tough spot, like kind of in a narcissistic situation, and you have an unavailable husband, emotionally unavailable husband, then if you're feeling absolutely alone and very lonely, then go to these online forums that can help you. And also, like, you can get a bit creative with this. So if you've always kind of had like um, you know a template in your mind of a, not a perfect man, but of a supporting male energy, that you have read somewhere or seen in some movie, or basically what you are lacking is that rock solid energy that gives you that support, which the feminine energy needs. And that's very natural. So you don't have to feel sorry for, you don't have to feel bad if you're feeling like that. So what you can do is you can bring in that energy from a different source other than your husband. So I'm not again suggesting have an affair or anything. What I'm suggesting is, like, go to art, go to fiction. If you have read a book in which there is a fictional character whom you find to be the perfect supporting, like, male energy figure, so kind of read those books. What you're lacking is you're lacking that energy, and usually we look for that energy in our spouse, or our partner, whoever it is. So try to get that energy from a different source, but not another human being. Otherwise, that can get very dangerous. So try to get it from a character in a novel or a movie that you have seen, or some drama that you see. So for me, it was. Jon Snow in Game of Thrones. I always loved that character, and I've read the books, and I would always like read his chapters first and then read the rest of the book. So, I kind of went back to that energy because that felt supporting to me. Even if at the end of the day I would read like a few chapters of his life, in the books, or I would see some videos of him in the show on HBO. It would give me some sort of a, it would give me that energy back in my life, that's rock solid energy, which is always supporting, always guiding, always mentoring, that sort of an energy. And that's what actually you lack sometimes when you have someone who's avoidant or who's unavailable emotionally, you know so you can get that energy from different sources, and it need not be a male character. It could also be a female character which is immensely strong and which has a lot of masculine energy, but you really need to have felt that from that character. So kind of like, just, this is a very creative way, but when I was doing this, I did not know what I was doing. All I knew was I wanted to, like, watch Jon Snow's scenes in Game of Thrones. I didn't know why, but I just wanted to. And now that I think about it, I realize that's why I did it. That's why it was like my feel good thing, that okay, I have someone, like, so So how kids in when they're young, they make up all these imaginary friends in their head, and those friends, they give them support. So sometimes, even as adults, you can have like an imaginary guide or a mentor who will give you that support. um, so yeah, so once you start doing this with your spouse or your partner, you will kind of feel like you have become roommates instead of being in a relationship. But let it be like that for a while. And what will happen is, if this person is really interested, or if this person is wants to go back to the way things were, or wants to go to a better place, they will actually notice that you have pulled away from them. And this might take some time, it might even take a year, but I hope it happens. And I have seen it happen. So it will happen, because a man will kind of understand when a woman has energetically pulled away from him, right? Her caring energy, her nurturing energy, her energy of just being interested in his life. So if you have pulled away like that, he is going to feel it at some point. And then after that, it's kind of his decision, like what he wants to do with it. Does he actually want to solve the problem, or does he want to keep being emotionally unavailable and avoid it? And once it gets to that, like, I hope he whoever this person is for whom you're watching this video, they make the right choice, and they kind of look into their own traumas and own healing, etc., and they make that effort to take that step towards you. I really hope that is the outcome that happens. But if it doesn't, then it's your decision. Then you can either stay in this and try to hope for a miracle, because miracles happen. You can keep praying, and there must be some good qualities in this person that you're living with, if this is the only thing that is bothersome. Or then there's always another option where you kind of take another route in your life. So yeah, I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope you end up with the first option where everything becomes okay. But yeah, it's a difficult phase to go through when you are kind of with someone who's emotionally unavailable to you. But the good thing is, like, there are lots of resources out there to help you. So I hope this phase passes soon, and I hope this video helps you in some way. And as always, I wish you all a lot of love and a lot of light. Thank you. Bye.